Gabriel Penn was no stranger to the shadows. Like a seasoned sailor steering his ship amidst a tumultuous sea, the aging journalist navigated the layered depths of human frailty and vice with a practiced hand. From the outside, his demeanor exuded a congenial warmth, his eyes flickering with the embers of a life well lived. But beneath that laid a persistence born of the years, grappling with poverty, and a courage etched by the grindstone of adversity. Bedford, New Hampshire was a postcard hamlet, a charm of fall colors and winding lanes. Its peaceful visage belied the undercurrents of secrets that swirled beneath. It was here that Gabriel found his latest assignment, an antique shop, its time-worn facade graced by trinkets and baubles from different eras. His first encounter with the shop came as a casual visit, tucked behind a friendly smile. "Looking for anything particular, sir?" The shopkeeper, a wiry man with a suspicious gaze, asked. "Just browsing, thank you," he responded, his gaze skimming over the items, touching upon a bronze compass, an ivory cameo, a cracked porcelain doll. Each whispered a story of yesteryears, but he was searching for a tale yet untold. As he delved deeper into the shop, his journalist instincts picked up the subtle signs. A hushed conversation, abruptly halted, a quick exchange of money for a small, ornate box, a sense of nervous anticipation hanging in the air, like the thick New Hampshire fog. "I couldn't help but notice that beautiful set of samurai swords." He pointed towards an incongruously expensive antique, adding an innocuous question, "Are they for sale?" "Yes, sir, but they come with a hefty price," the shopkeeper replied, the hint of a wary glance lurking in his eyes. "Is that so?" he mused aloud, his heart pounding a coded message of suspicion. The seeds of an intricate plot were being sown. In the days that followed, he made a habit of spending his afternoons at the local pub, sharing drinks with the townsfolk, prodding them gently for tales about the antique shop. Some, under the influence of liquor and his affable charm, let slip guarded words, hints about strange events tied to the shop. "What kind of events?" Gabriel asked one such local, a man whose eyes held the gleam of countless stories. "I'm not one to gossip," the man replied, his voice a mere breath in the dimly lit room. "But there's a darkness to that place, as if it houses more than mere objects." The seemingly serene town of Bedford took on a new, mysterious sheen in the twilight. He was left contemplating the potential horror concealed behind the antique shop's door, his resolve stiffening for the trials to come. With every revelation, Gabriel Penn found his resolve hardening, like steel tempered in the crucible of adversity. His character, generous by nature, found no room for the deceit that draped the antique shop and the town of Bedford like an invisible shroud. The whisperings of the townsfolk, the shopkeeper's anxious gaze, they had painted a haunting image in his mind. A clandestine saga was taking form, and he was determined to expose its veiled underbelly. His investigation, arduous and meticulous, revealed unsettling fragments. He stumbled upon an incongruous drug during one of his covert visits to the shop's back room, the pills a startling neon blue. A quick conversation with a disgruntled former employee hinted at their mind-enhancing properties. "They make you sharper somehow," the man confessed, his hands trembling around his lukewarm coffee. "But there's a heaviness, a price you pay. Nightmares," they said. "Nightmares of another world, another being." The last word hung between them, as potent as the strange drug itself. A dark deity, a cosmic entity, an unknown terror, yet terrifyingly tangible in Gabriel's reality. His dreams, once a comforting refuge from his exhausting days, turned into a nightmarish panorama. The lines between the waking world and the realms of sleep blurred, shadows creeping into the corners of his vision even in the stark daylight. An omnipresent hum echoed in his ears, like a distant call from an alien abyss. His brave heart faltered, albeit momentarily. His past, steeped in hardship, had equipped him to face the world head-on, but the cosmic entity was an adversary unlike any he had ever encountered. Yet his persistent spirit did not allow him to retreat. One afternoon, while sipping on his habitual mug of coffee at the pub, he engaged in conversation with a mystic who'd wandered into town. He spoke of ancient realms, of the delicate veil between the human and the divine, of beings far more powerful and terrifying than humankind could imagine. "The enlightened and the dark often walk hand in hand, Mr. Penn," the mystic said, his eyes glinting with unsaid wisdom. "Beware the call of the abyss. It is enchanting." These cryptic words echoed in his mind as he ventured deeper into the labyrinth of his investigation. His journalistic tenacity forced him to press on, his senses heightened by the grim revelations, his mind teetering on the precipice of terror and intrigue. He stood on the threshold of the unknown, the quaint town of Bedford, a stage for an eerie play of cosmic horror. The abyss was calling, and he was poised to answer. The deceptive tranquility of Bedford was now a distant memory for Gabriel Penn. Where once he saw charm and simplicity, he now discerned masks of normality hiding grim secrets. The aging journalist was walking on a tightrope, balancing between the mundane world and the unexplored abyss of cosmic horror. Against the gnawing terror inside him, he chose to venture deeper into the vortex of the unknown. He decided to partake in the neon blue drug, despite the warnings of the disgruntled former employee and the cryptic advice from the mystic. The world around him morphed as the potent drug took hold. Reality bled into fantastical visions, the town of Bedford warping and dissolving around him. The quaint cottages danced in a feverish haze, the blue sky twisting into an undulating canvas of cosmic chaos. He saw it then, the dark deity, an immense figure swirling and shifting, an abyss within itself, its voice an echoing whisper that seemed to come from every direction. The deity's speech was like listening to an ancient language, yet he understood. The deity teased him with the promise of untold knowledge and power, its words curling around his mind like tendrils. Even as he swam in the dark depths of cosmic revelation, his journalistic instinct held strong. He attempted to communicate with the entity, to uncover the extent of its influence over the weapon dealers. "What are you? What is your purpose in this?" he asked, his voice trembling in the all-consuming darkness. The entity laughed, its mirth sending ripples through the abyss. "Purpose, Mr. Penn? Your kind always seeks purpose, meaning. You will come to understand. In due course." The entity's cryptic response made his blood run cold. Its assertion of his impending understanding was far from comforting. It was a prophecy, a pledge of transformation. Yet the terror did not consume him. Instead, it hardened his resolve, his bravery flaring in the face of the cosmic entity. He was more determined than ever to expose the truth, to return the favor that had become his motivation. He woke from his encounter, his body soaked in a cold sweat, his mind teeming with the ominous deity's words. He was now tethered to a reality far beyond the world's comprehension, the sleepy town of Bedford a mere backdrop to the cosmic theater. The stage was set for the final act. The audience left breathless, awaiting the culmination of his perilous journey into the abyss. The once calm and collected Gabriel Penn found himself standing at the brink of an abyss, a chasm so profound and terrifying that it threatened to consume his very being. The tranquil landscape of Bedford was merely a mirage, a dream he was slowly waking from. The benevolent veneer of the antique shop had been peeled back to reveal the rot beneath. The cosmic entity's words resonated within him, echoing ominously. Every passing day, every new revelation twisted the knot of horror tighter in his gut. It was no longer just about the weapons and the drug. It was about something far more terrifying, the merging of the human psyche with an entity too grand, too malevolent to fathom. The once brave journalist found his courage waning, his resolve wavering. Yet he clung to his motivation, the debt he had vowed to repay. He pressed on, his every action, every decision driven by a need to expose the truth. In his quest, he was drawn closer to the cosmic entity. Its promises of untold knowledge, of power beyond comprehension, began to sound enticing. His curiosity, a flame that had been his beacon throughout his career, was now a wildfire threatening to engulf him. And then it happened. His investigations, his conversations with the townsfolk, his own experiences, they all led him to one conclusion. To understand, to truly expose the entity, he had to join it. It was a chilling thought, a terrifying proposition. To surrender himself to the cosmic entity meant losing his identity, his very humanity. Yet there was no other way. His generosity, his need to return a favor had brought him here, and it was now leading him into the abyss. As he succumbed, the entity's laughter reverberated through him. "Welcome, Mr. Penn." Gabriel was no more. He had become a part of the cosmic entity, a tiny thread woven into the tapestry of its vast, unfathomable existence. Bedford was left behind, a silent audience to his transformation. He transformed into something beyond human comprehension. Bedford stood in silent horror, its tranquility marred by an undercurrent of dread. The once persistent, generous, and brave journalist had been lost to the cosmic entity, his journey ending in an eerie alliance with the very force he sought to expose. What was left behind was a chilling sense of cosmic horror, a reminder of the dangerous allure of the unknown, and the terrifying depths to which one might descend in the quest for truth. Gabriel's story lingers in the quiet town of Bedford, a tale whispered with caution and fear, a haunting legacy of a man who dared to look into the abyss, and in return was consumed by it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like it and subscribe to our channel, where you can find more similar stories, and click on the bell icon to never miss one. There is plenty more cosmic horror to come from the Eldritch Tales Factory. Stay tuned, and until next time.